So if you've clicked on this video, you are most likely interested in picking up a new controller. And while I'm sure you will have heard of the more premium controllers, such as the Elite Series controllers or the Scuffed Instinct Pro, there is no denying that the price is a major stumbling block for some gamers. Fear not, however, as there are a number of more affordable controllers on the market to choose from. And today, we are going to be comparing two such controllers, namely the Xbox Wireless Controller, Xbox's latest generation controller, and the Gamesir G7, a wired controller for Xbox and PC that really packs a punch. Hopefully in comparing and contrasting these controllers, I can help you decide which, if any, would suit you best. And to do this, we will put the controllers head to head in 4 main categories, see how they stack up in each, and overall, see which controller comes out on top. Let's get into it. What's up YouTube? My name's Gavlaaar88, and in this video and every other video on the channel, we talk about Xbox and Xbox related things, such as these two controllers, right here. So as I said in the intro, we will be comparing these controllers in 4 main categories. Firstly, the price, including what you get included in your purchase. Secondly, design and key features, including aesthetics and any standout attributes the controllers may have. Thirdly, how customizable each controller is, including any added extras or ways you can make the controller your own. And lastly, how it is under use, considering different gaming playstyles and giving reasons why you might prefer one over the other. So with all that out the way, let's hop right into it and talk about the price, as this is a key reason in helping make a decision. Starting off with the official Xbox controller, which you can pick up in a variety of colours. It comes in at £55 in the UK, $60 in the US and €60 in the EU. Moving on to the Gamesir G7, and you can get your hands on one for around £40 in the UK, $45 in the US and €45 in the EU. So a relatively similar price point for both. But how about what's included in your purchase? Well, regarding the official Xbox controller, you get the controller itself, 2 AA batteries, as yes, this controller doesn't have a rechargeable battery pack. And that's just about it. And in the Gamesir G7's case, again you get the controller, a second faceplate, a 3-meter braided USB Type-C cable, as this is a wired controller, meaning you need to be connected to your console or PC at all times for the controller to function. Other than a few stickers, that is everything that is included in your purchase on a Gamesir G7. So, considering the price and everything you see on the table, I feel it's fair to say that the Gamesir G7 gives you more bang for your buck. But with that being said, there's much more to consider than just the price before making a decision, including what the controllers are actually capable of, what makes them stand out, and as such we move on to the second area of discussion, the design and key features. But before we get there, a quick reminder to hit the like button to help get this video out to more people. And of course, if you are new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button to get more videos just like this one. We are closing in on our first 1,000 subscribers, and your help would be much appreciated. But where were we? Ah yes, design and key features. Although you are probably familiar with the Xbox controller, it does have some nice design touches that I love. I've always stated that the Xbox controller layout is my favourite, and the latest Xbox controller variant hasn't changed this. Overall, it has a great look, feels right in hand, and is comfortable in long game sessions. The textured side grip gives extra support, and the added stippled effect on the top of the thumbsticks, although minimal, is a nice touch. The D-pad is the best so far from Xbox, and in my opinion, the bumpers and triggers really flow into each other, which I appreciate. A share button addition is standard these days, but so handy when wanting to quickly capture a sick moment. As I mentioned earlier, this is a wireless controller, allowing you to connect to not only console, PC, and interestingly, your phone or tablet. This is an awesome addition, and I've got a video I'll link right here covering how to connect your controller to an iPad. But for now, I'll say that this feature really does give added functionality to the controller. Moving on to the G7, and as I said when I originally covered this controller, this is a sleek controller which feels nice in hand. A little smaller than the standard Xbox controllers, but actually feels perfect for me. If you would like to see my full review for a more in-depth discussion on the design, I will leave a link right here, but I will quickly mention a few more design choices before moving on to the key features. Firstly, I absolutely love the buttons. They make a super satisfying click when used. They use micro switches and I very much approve. The G7 also has a stippled effect around the thumbsticks, which again is nice, but I don't enjoy the domed centre. I much prefer a dip centre, it just feels better to me. Now moving on to some of the key features, and the biggest thing that makes the G7 stand out from the official Xbox controller has to be the two back buttons, which really give an edge when gaming. These two buttons can be programmed to function with any of the face buttons, so you have a fair bit of flexibility. I must also mention how natural the buttons feel. They just slip seamlessly into the controller, and you hardly notice them until needed. The G7 also gives you the function to control your headset volume and chat mix straight from the controller, just by hitting the mic button and then using the D-pad. Again, a nice touch. Differing from the Xbox controller, this is a wired controller, meaning you must be connected at all times by using the provided cable. And as such, you cannot connect to your console or PC without it. And obviously, you don't have the ability to connect via Bluetooth to your phone or tablet. Now this could be a deal breaker depending on how you like to play, when you take the comfort that playing wirelessly can give into account. So for me, this area really does come down to personal choice of what you value most. Comfort and ease of use or added functionality. Now as you ponder that, we will move on to our next area. How customizable is each controller? What can you do to make it feel your own? This will be a short section, as you will soon see there is a clear winner. The G7 has an extra faceplate with other colours on the way. And not only that, the ones provided are paint friendly, allowing the arty type out there to make their own designs. Pretty cool. The fact that you have two extra programmable back buttons that you can pair to whichever button you fancy also aids added customization. But the star when it comes to customization on the G7 has to be the added free companion app, which allows you to set dead zones, hair trigger mode for your triggers, and of course fiddle with the back buttons. It's actually a pretty powerful tool, and I definitely recommend trying it out. Moving back to the official Xbox controller, and there's no real customization to speak of. You can't program extra buttons, you can't swap faceplates or fiddle with the companion app. But I will mention there are many colour variations available to choose from. And if any of them don't quite fit your style, you can always try Xbox Design Labs, giving you the chance to mix and match basically any design you like. We will speak on this in another video, but I will end this section by saying that despite the myriad of colour options, there is a clear winner in this area. The G7 takes it, not just because of the physical customization, but also because of the companion app, really giving you the chance to level up your gaming. After all, choosing a controller really is about that, playing games. And this leads us on to our final comparison, how each controller is under use, how they are to play with. When it all comes down to it, this is probably, for many of you out there, the most important point of the video. When you choose a controller, you expect to be using it for a sustained period of time, so you want to know how good a controller feels and what flaws you could discover. Again, beginning with the official wireless Xbox controller. And what can I say other than this is a classic in the making? Sturdy and reliable, it has no real flaws to speak of. It feels great in hand, nice clicky bumpers, smooth travel on the triggers. Now, I don't play many fighting games, but I would like to mention how the improved, almost circle-like D-pad that is reminiscent of the attachment from the Elite Series 2 really could make a difference when trying to hit some combos. The sticks feel a little loose to me, but not a problem, and overall, this controller gives you the comfort and usability you expect from a modern controller. Now, it can be annoying needing to find batteries when your controller dies, but this is nothing a battery pack can solve. Debatably, the fact that there is no built-in battery pack could be a plus point for some. You don't have to toss the controller when the battery gives out, and it keeps the cost down also. Regarding the G7, and I have similar positives in how it fits in hand. Despite being smaller than other controllers, I never feel it's too small. I will mention it does feel light, which could be a problem or benefit depending on how you feel about that kind of thing. The back paddles take the G7 up a notch and allows you to try out things not possible on a standard controller. And once you get used to having them, you can't go back. Trust me. The companion app gives added nuance when setting dead zones, but I will mention how this impacted my triggers when set at a lower setting. I found my controller almost zooming in or firing without me even touching the triggers. Easily sorted, but annoying nonetheless. One of the main differences in how you would play with the G7 compared to the Xbox wireless controller is that this, I will mention again, is a wired controller. So for most who prefer to sit on a couch to play, this isn't really an option. After all, who wants a cable draped across their living room? although I would say from my experience that the cable is long enough to reach in a reasonably sized living room. But again, if you play near your console or PC, or even at a desk, being wired is no real problem, and can actually be a benefit. Lower input lag is a thing, and never having to go hunting for more batteries is a definite win. So in this section, I again feel it's really up to personal choice who takes it. I can see both points of view. If you prefer the comfort of the couch while gaming, and you don't see a benefit in back paddles, then the Xbox controller is for you. But if like me you want to get any leg up you can when playing competitively, and playing wired isn't a problem for you, or where you play, then the G7 is definitely one to look at. But with all the discussions out of the way, let's tally up the score, shall we? Considering price and what you get for your purchase, that's a win for the G7. Not only is it slightly cheaper, but it also comes with a few added extras, which I appreciate. In the second, covering design and key features, I actually have this one down as a tie. They both have features that could swing it either way. Being wireless and able to connect to a phone or tablet is a great function to have in the Xbox controller's case. But back paddles and ways to hone the controller settings to suit you best really could sway users one way or the other, depending on what you prefer. Discussing how customizable each controller is, there is a clear winner, and that is the G7. You have options to configure controller settings and button layout, as well as easy ways to change the physical appearance of the controller, while the Xbox controller has no real customization to speak of. And for our final area, we talked about how each controller is under use. And again, I have this one as a tie. Generally because it comes down to what you personally place higher. Comfort and ease of use or added functionality. If I was pushed and being someone who's played my fair share of competitive games, I would go for the G7. I really cannot go back from having back paddles. So going by the scoring, that's a win for the G7, 4-2. Personally for me, this is how I would fall also. I love the added customization and functions it has. But with that being said, if you still prefer the Xbox wireless controller, you won't be making a mistake picking one up. As I said earlier, it is a classic in the making, the go-to controller for many, and if you mainly play single player games, the features the G7 has won't be missed at all, to be honest. The G7 and the official Xbox wireless controller are nice, but if you would like to see a comparison just like this one discussing two of the more premium Xbox controllers out there, check out this right here, putting the SCUF Instinct Pro and the Elite Series 2 head to head. You'll enjoy, trust me. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please remember to hit like and of course hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Come on, it's right there. But anyway, until the next time, I'll catch us.